Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're talking about The Argument, a brand new independent comedy written and directed by Robert Schwartzman. It stars a ton of recognizable faces like Dan Fogler, Emma Bell, Maggie Q, Danny Pudi, Tyler James Williams, and Cleopatra Coleman. I was given an advanced screener to check out the film and provide an honest review. So, let's bring it back to my forte of reviewing films, and let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, forte, one's strong point. The Argument is an indie comedy that follows Jack and his girlfriend Lisa as they get into an argument during a get-together with some friends in their apartment. As the argument escalates, the party comes to an end and all their friends leave, but the party isn't really over. Jack and Lisa recreate the party over and over again with all their guests in order to figure out who is right. Independent films are always such a treat because they usually pack a lot more originality in their films than most blockbusters do. They're always willing to go the extra mile as to stay away from the stereotypes that can sometimes exhaust an audience. How many times can we see the same old story told over and over again? I don't know. That's why I'm always willing to watch an independent film, because more often than not, they're made by individuals that not only know how to make a movie, they know how to do it without depending on a ridiculous budget to pay for everything. They're always passionate in what they're doing, and the same can definitely be said about The Argument, which is Robert Schwartzman's third feature film. And you know it's gotta be good after you look at his resume. This guy has done it all. He has written, directed, acted, and provided music to certain projects through his band Rooney. Beyond that, talent is in his blood as he's a part of the Coppola family tree, same as Francis Ford Coppola, Nicolas Cage, and his brother Jason. That, combined with a cast that I've enjoyed watching in the past, secured my own interest in watching this film. But did it turn out as I expected? I would actually say it did. This film has some subtly smart humor between these characters that are sometimes passive-aggressive, sometimes blatantly obvious depending on their personalities. I personally love the diverse cast of characters here, all of which had a specifically important voice into what's going on. You had a screenwriter, you had an actor and actress, a booking agent, an entertainment lawyer, and in all honesty, an enthusiastic member of the audience. As far as the theme of the film goes, it sometimes feels like a time loop film, kind of like, Groundhog Day or most recently Palm Springs, but it's a voluntary time loop in a way because they're doing this on purpose. They're recreating the night over and over again in order to get their intended result, and each time they do it, it's creating kind of a snowball effect and causing a bigger and bigger rift between these people who started off, for the most part, as good friends. But unlike most time loop films, there's actually a purpose here. There's an end goal, which is always what I look for. It's a little bit silly, but it's only silly for the movie to happen. It works really well, as does the cast in their respective roles. If I had anything negative to talk about here, it would be the fact that it's a little bit repetitive. That is the point, but sometimes there's a limit to how many times you should be repeating this day. So many instances allows for, some really cool editing sequences, which I definitely dug. But there did come a time when I watched where I wondered if we were actually learning anything throughout this experiment or not, and if it would ever end. And if it did, how would they do it conclusively in a satisfying way? I think at least part of the idea behind all of these repetitions is because the film is short, like really short, not even 90 minutes. So they needed to fill the time. It doesn't necessarily feel like filler per se because the cast was always doing something funny, so you could still be entertained. Overall, I thought the pacing was very well done. Let's go ahead and talk about the end score for a second. From an unbiased technical level, I was pretty impressed with quite a bit of work that was put into the character development, the dialogue between everybody, and the premise itself. The technical score is 80%, and my personal bias score is slightly lower at 76% because of the repetition that I had mentioned before kind of bothered me. When we average out the two scores together, we come to a final rating of 78%, 78 out of 100 possible stars. If you get the chance to watch this, do so. It'll be released in limited theaters and video on demand on September 4th. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. As for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this review, because there's always more like it coming out each and every single day. Hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert.